And we're live. Good morning. Welcome to Coffee with Carrie, Adam, and Storm. And again, we have our special guest, Coach K, Eric Knight, coming out of Burlington, North Carolina. It looks like, Coach, you are in your new facility. Is this correct?
Yes, that's correct. In our shell.
All right. The shell of the Burlington, North Carolina facility. So we're going to talk today about our pre-sales process and some refinements, some little tweaks that we've made to enhance it and make it better. Give a little bit of background as to where we've come from. We started off over a year ago with what we call the legacy pre-sales process, opened up in Grovetown, Georgia. I think their pre-sales number was close to like 80, 86 all in the first 3 months of pre-sales. Then we contracted with the awesome Amanda Goolsby, who became our director of pre-sales, and we started seeing our numbers really, really, really amplify. Early on, we had 2 locations start pre-sales in February 3rd of this year. And obviously, everybody knows that there was a global pandemic at this point. So that stopped abruptly about 6 weeks later. And they were just exceeding expectations, overperforming. And now we have a number of other facilities in the pre-sales process. And, they've been doing very, very well. Opening weekends of 50, opening weekends of 100, and then kind of falling off. And, Adam, you and I were on a call a couple weeks ago, and somebody said, "Hey, what's the biggest problem you face?" And in the back of my mind, I'm like, we got to figure out how to get pre-sales to be consistently growing throughout the entire pre-sales process. And again, we made some tweaks, we made some refinements, and here we are. I want to congratulate Coach K on getting 105 members pre-sold in the first weekend. 107. Oh my God, I'm short. And you know what? I get it. Math is math. 7 is bigger than 5. So 107 members pre-sold. And let's talk about, that was the first 3 days. Let's talk about what we're going to do for the next few weeks so we don't start to see those numbers fall off. Got that?
Yeah, absolutely. You're asking me, or you want to talk to Adam about that?
Why don't we let Adam go, and then we're going to focus on you.
Yeah, I mean the big thing is from a sales funnel perspective, that we've been talking with Eric about is early on when they were launching the pre-sales, it's really comes down to one thing: is how many people are in your funnel from the top, right? So number of leads coming in to member ratio, and if that ratio is the same across the board, then it's a pure numbers game of how many leads are we dumping in the top. And so what Eric and his team, and Eric, I'll let you speak about this real quick. What they've really done a great job of is they hit the ground floor with grassroots marketing for 3 to 4 solid weeks. That's all they were doing every single day, in addition to the digital marketing that was pouring leads in from the top side. So when they launched pre-sales launch weekend this last weekend, they had over 1,300 leads, which was almost, on average, 4 times more than any other location when launching their pre-sales launch weekend. And so really the bottleneck, if you're looking whether open facility or in pre-sales, is the number of leads, because our sales process is so dialed in that we're seeing pretty true conversion rates from a closing percentage when someone's actually sitting down in front of us to the sale, pretty consistent across the entire brand. And so it's of those ones that are really, setting the bar, it's what's the difference? And the bottleneck's always going to be top end of the funnel. And so, Eric, if you want to talk about kind of what your guys' strategy was from day one. You're a little bit frozen, but I don't know if you're on Wi-Fi, but yeah, what was your guys' approach?
I'm walking around trying to find good signal.
You're good.
Yeah, our approach was, it was multifaceted, right? So it was important to find out, for the most part, where were the people, right, during the pandemic. You wanted to be able to build the business relationships, but you also wanted to be able to be out and about in the community. So with the pandemic, it was a little bit scarce in regards to having an abundance of people, and the mask situation, social distancing. We had to be really creative. We spend our time dividing our time and not depending on social media. We kind of just let that do its own thing in the corner, and we're focused on generating leads. Our team came together and decided what was the target that they wanted to shoot for grand open, our HQ training. And then it just became a math of what that needed to be on a monthly and a weekly basis. And when we saw what we had to do on a daily basis, we knew what resources we had, and we divided the resources up, giving the team the ability to kind of decide for themselves who's going to do what. They took ownership of it. And then we just sat together and talked about, well, where can we go and what can we do? I mean, we went to outlet stores, we set up tents, we went to recreational areas where people were out and about walking and jogging, went opposite direction, supermarket plazas that were more towards the clientele that we saw that would be amenable to our facility, and just try to divide our time from doing that and just trying to be creative as much as possible. But it was something that, we did all the typical, trying to set up a table at a coffee shop, catch people at traffic, people lines waiting for their coffee, having conversations, wearing the green suit, doing different things, just being creative and not doing any one thing. And if one thing didn't work, then we just pivoted to the next thing and we didn't do it again. Or maybe we went back to it a little bit later. So just having a lot of different ideas, partnering with local organizations, getting ready for when 5K seasons start up again. Well, who can we partner with? Local businesses, creating a running club, talking to members, asking them what their interest levels are, whether there's a Spartan race or different types of things that they do, and tell them, look, we want to create a community. Would you be willing to be part of that? And that kind of created a life of its own. And what we found during the pre-sales weekend was that people were coming to us and telling us what they were looking for and telling us what their shortfalls were at the places where they were. And I said to them, basically, look, this is your community. Let's build it together. You are part of what's going to happen within these four walls. So I don't have all the answers, but I want you to make this facility, this location, your community. Let's talk about it. Bring the ideas to the table, because this is your facility, your community to grow and develop. So that's really been our approach, really. And by that, we're able to really check the metrics. I think knowing what our goals were every day, if we were short one day, we made up for it another way. We doubled up and just collectively as a team all work together. So
that reminds me real quick, and it's been a little while since you and I first engaged on the introductory deck going over the whole opportunity for ISI Elite Training. But there is a slide in there, I don't know if you recall, on what we're looking for from franchise partners. And there's a whole concept about mindset and leaving all excuses behind and getting it done. And what you're talking about right now, to me, couldn't be a clearer example of saying, I don't have any excuses. I'm going to look at every opportunity. I'm going to go out and talk to every single person. And if you guys have 1,300 leads and you have 107 people signed up, well, I would say you have a lot of work left to do, but that is pretty powerful from a number standpoint, if we're talking mathematics, which I know we are.
No, absolutely. I think also being open-minded to, what you think is right. And, sometimes you have to humble yourself and listen. I mean, there were a lot of texts and phone calls that went on behind the scenes with Amanda and with Adam. Hey, what about this idea? Every possibility that we could process or accept, think it through and implement, we did. I mean, things from, going to a food truck line, and even we not over just hitting the line of people waiting, but actually pre-buying desserts for people on the line. If they gave a lead, we gave them a ticket for a free dessert to hit up a food truck. So we partnered with the community and the food trucks, vendors. They know us, they promoted us, and then everybody who actually was in that line, if they were willing to hear what we had to talk about, what we had coming, we rewarded them in exchange for a lead with a free dessert. So stuff like that was part of what we did. And the raffling, to raffle out and just give out free money, you have to think about it again, your cost per lead. Yeah, go ahead.
Explain, this was last night, so explain that, what you guys did there.
Sure. Yeah, so the recommendation was if people signed up and they referred their friends and family and they came and signed up, we said, look, we'll put your name into a raffle, and Monday night at the close of business, when we finish our pre-sales launch for VIPs, we're going to pull 3 names of a hat up to $500 in gift and a cash reward. And we did that last night. We videotaped it on Facebook Live. We put it out there. So the top earner got $500, the second person $250, and the third $100. So there were multiple winners, and we're gonna do what we say, and we're gonna run the script that the franchise gives us, because obviously they've done it before. There's a lot of experience on the table. We don't have that. While the initial reaction is, ooh, that costs a little bit more money to do that, and you want to clench your pocket or your wallet close. we're not going to have another grand opening, right? We're not going to have this opportunity. So if you got to sell your kids, sell your toys, whatever you got to do to capitalize and put injection into the business, do it, because you'll only regret it later. So, it's just mind over matter. You have to figure out how to make it happen. Try not to cut corners at all, if possible. And like I said, make that sacrifice. It may not be comfortable. It may be risky or daring for you to do it. But I know that the end result is going to be that we're going to be in a much better place long term. So yeah, that video was just showing the drawing of the winners last night.
Well, this is not a dress rehearsal. We know that, right? This is go time. So, all right, Adam, you have anything else you want to cap off with, or we're going to push this over to Storm? What's the weather in Philadelphia?
Yeah, what's the weather, baby?
We're coming straight to me with the weather. So the one thing I did want to say before I dive into weather here in Philly was just listening to Eric kind of talk about some of the different approaches that they've taken. One of the common themes, one of the common words I heard over and over and over again was community, right? And it's understanding your community, finding out what attracts people to other places in your community, and then partnering with other local business owners, right? Partnering with other locally owned franchises and figuring out how you can work together, how you could drive business, to each of your locations. It sounds like Eric has an understanding. I know already that Eric is a community guy, right? With everything that he's given back to the community, with some of the organizations he's been a part of. But I think if we could recommend any one thing to somebody who's going through the pre-sales process, it's get comfortable in your community, find out who your community leaders are, and figure out how you can work with them. Because it sounds like that's exactly what Eric's done. And again, if I could have handpicked anybody to break an opening weekend, pre-sales record, would have been Eric, hands down.
Until the next guy.
Thought twice about it.
Until the next guy, right?
Until the next guy. But the bar's been set. The bar has been set.
Hey, well, this Chapel Hill's coming, so we have to beat our own record.
I love it.
There we go. There we go. So if you guys are wondering, what the weather's like here in Philly today, it's beautiful. This is not November weather for us. I don't know what is going on. Right now it's 55 degrees and sunny outside, clear, no clouds in the sky. It's supposed to get to 71 degrees today. Unfortunately, sun still sets at like 4:50 in the afternoon, which, is kind of brutal. But at the same time, we're looking at warm temperatures all week. So I'm just keeping my fingers crossed this continues. I'll be taking my afternoon calls from out back again.
I saw that on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Nice shoes, too.
You like that? The loafer look?
Yeah. Solid. All right. We're exiting with here's a short video from Amanda Goolsby, who's our director of pre-sales. Carrie, you got anything else?
Yeah, we'll see y'all later in the week. Coach, hey, thank you very much. Good luck. Get to that 1,000 point.
See you guys.
Take care.
Hey guys, I'm Amanda and I'm the director of pre-sales at ISI Elite Training. A little bit about my background. I have supported the launch of and growth of one of the biggest brands in fitness history, Orange Theory Fitness. Between 2012 and 2017, I helped about 50 units get open, operating, and profitable within the Orange Theory Fitness brand. And through that time, what I learned is that if we get a solid pre-sales process in place for you as a franchisee, not only will you have the foundation of members throughout the pre-sale process to open and be profitable by the end of your first month, you'll have the benefit of momentum at your back by having 250 founding members, which is our objective throughout the pre-sales process. You're going to have a profitable business. You're going to have a team that already knows how to execute on the sales process because they've been working on it throughout the course of pre-sales. And you have the momentum of 250 people in your community excited to go out and share about their experience with your brand. So look forward to meeting you along this process and understand pre-sales is your path to profitability.